So our next Ponder Anew spotlight block, I'm going to invite the Reverend Paula Lebo, former Bishop of Allegheny Synod and our new assistant to the Bishop for Mission Interpretation, to talk about pondering anew communication.
Hi. I'm new here. Thank you. Since I've been here, I have seen some folks from my previous synod, and they said, "Hey, what are you doing now?" And I said, "I'm the assistant to the bishop for mission interpretation." Blank stare. I said, "I think you're wondering, what does that mean?" And they said, "Well, yeah, but we didn't want to ask." I'm glad they asked. It made me think through, what does that mean? It's kind of a fancy phrase. The church is good at coming up with fancy phrases, right? It is a fancy phrase for telling our story, sharing the story of what God is doing in our congregation and in our people and in our communities. I've been told that Lutherans are known for not loudly proclaiming the story. And where I came from, that was true. I remember asking some folks in a group if they would feel comfortable sharing the story of their faith. Suddenly, everyone's shoes became very interesting. Everyone looked down, and I said, "Let's start slow. Let's turn to our neighbor and tell them what brand of toothpaste we use." That's easy, right? Blank stares. I had to ask them again. Turn to your neighbor and tell them the brand of toothpaste you use. There was low chatter. I don't think that would be true here. I've been impressed and heartened with your willingness to share with each other and engage with each other. That's what mission interpretation is all about. It means telling the story of our shared ministry. It's different than toothpaste, for sure. It's communicating how the Spirit is at work in our congregations, our communities, and in our world. I told you that I'm new here. I don't do things the same way that you've been accustomed to having them done, and that might frustrate you at times. So, one way that I and we together as the staff are pondering anew is looking at the ways that we tell our shared story, in what format it's told, and how we can expand those avenues to reach more people with the love, grace, and mercy of Jesus. So how are we pondering anew? Well, some of you might be very thrilled to hear we're working on a new website. Woo! Whose web address will be much more intuitive. We're hoping that the website becomes a resource hub with a more robust library of resources for clergy and lay people that support and accompany your ministry. We're also pondering anew a communication strategy. We imagine building a strategy for our synod that will bring into focus the ministry we share in this synod. And the strategy will be duplicatable, meaning your congregation could use it as a framework to build your own strategy for interpreting your mission and communicating it to your community. Storytelling is another thing that we are pondering anew. Telling our stories to the world so that the transformational message of God's love is heard and proclaimed. You have a story to tell. Your story is different than my story, and our stories of God's love, grace, and mercy need to be told now. Another thing that we are pondering anew is the raising up of congregational communicators, those who experience, engage, and share the ministry in your context. And pondering anew training. What might it look like for someone in your congregation to go to a workshop that helps them more fully understand how to communicate your ministry and mission to the public? Making a video, taking better photos. All these ways are ways that together we are pondering anew how to tell the story of God's love, grace, and mercy. The staff will tell you that I ask a lot of questions. This is your chance to ask questions or throw me an idea about how we can be pondering anew together. You can email me at the Synod office, you can put a Post-it note on my table, or you can call me on the phone and talk to me about how you are pondering anew the story which you've been given. It's really great to be with you, and I look forward to learning your names and getting to be more with you in the ministry that we share together. Thanks.